Yes. So I used to have Fritzbox, but we don't have the Fritzbox anymore in there. I was about to say something like Lala Tech, and then but and I should know this. I do apologize. It will come to me. It will definitely come to me. So you, by all means. So that now you kept me thinking. By the way, just so you know, all good. So yes. So here's the cool thing when people actually already have the headsets on, because then they can already listen to my voice. And now I'm speaking slowly. Can you just imagine? Do a little bit of speed. However, please scan this QR code because there will be a quiz, and uh, uh, basically this will let's say help you to get started, and also a little bit to see where this is going. Hold on, let me make the 1 second. Oh, come on. I don't know, this is not helping me. Okay, stop. Yes, perfect. So because now the QR code is a little bit bigger, and so for the people that just put it on, if you scan the QR code, and then on the moment when I press start, there's just an easy question. It's a question, so there's no prizes yet with that question to be won, but it will help you, like I said, later on. Um, I love Slido quizzes. I'm one of those rare Cisco Live presenters that, besides talking nerd stuff, I then squeeze in a quiz where my colleague says, "Oh my God, Nicole, I hardly managed to get 90 minutes in, and then you even, have a quiz." I was like, "Yeah, isn't this great?" Um, I call it my next level of presentation skills. Oh, hold on. Actually, you know what? In 1 minute, I'm allowed to start even. I didn't see that one coming. Apologies for that. So do scan the QR code, and I will just actually start the first question, because this is for me to learn a little bit about you. It's like, how many times have you been at Cisco Live? So this helps me greatly to understand. And then also you are already then connected to Slido. So that's the best part. Because on the moment then when the quiz starts, then you only need to press the join the quiz. So I call that a win-win situation. So let me put the water bottle down for a moment. And and let me actually pull in my power supply, because that is maybe handy. Otherwise, we might have a challenge later on. That would be an epic film. Okay, cool. Glasses, just in case. So I was about to say, so we have a lot of first timers here. So the first timers here, I would say definitely welcome to Cisco Live. It might be very overwhelming what you'll be watching in these coming days. But you will be, well, either, drained, uh, totally tired after this, which is normal. There might be a little bit of extra bugs you come home with. That's also pretty normal. Um, but in the end, I would say it's always really, really nice. Um, so I will actually go start my presentation, because I figured out myself that and I'll already start by the way, the quiz as in on the back end. But um, I would say, welcome everybody. I mean, IPv6, the internet's best kept secret. So in this next 30 minutes, and then I speed up a little bit because I know about the amount of slides I have. If there's any questions after the sessions, or I went too fast and you really, Nicole, I would really like to know what you were talking about. After this session, I am available for questions. I'm your Chief Stroopwafel Officer within Cisco. I am the CSO of Cisco. As you noticed by my accent, I am not from Australia, but with this, I always carry a cookie with me. So, however, these 30 minutes, there's one thing you need to remember after this session, because there will be a overload. IPv6 is broccoli. You go like, really, Nicole? Well, you need to wait for 30 minutes in order to find out the reason why. Because you know what? Welcome to the IPv6 of the galaxy. People, go like, "Oh, Nicole, what do you do?" Well, I talk IPv6. And then people go like, "Well, hold on. Nobody's using IPv6." So this was in 2018, specifically at another Cisco Live. Everybody's like, "Nobody's using IPv6." I said, "Well, let me tell you, that's actually not true." I said, "Did you know that already at that in 2018 we already had 35% Google internet traffic available?" And they're like, "I didn't know." Did you know that all operating systems right now are IPv6 enabled? So who is running here? So on their machine, IPv6 on the network in Cisco Live. Exactly. I see three hands with all respect. Yeah, five, four. Yeah, four, one more. You are all running IPv6 right now. Why am I saying that? Because this network here at Cisco Live is dual stacked. That means it's running the legacy protocol and IPv6. Yes, I said that. Legacy protocol, because we ran out. There's no more IP addresses available. The time is now. And so IPv6 takes precedence over the legacy protocol. So if you're connecting to Google, Microsoft, your Outlook, most likely, definitely IPv6 first, because that's according to some RFC, so some nerdy stuff under the hood, the reason why IPv6 is happening at this moment. So this last night, every day, the NOC team gives me some stats. So 49% is IPv6, 51 legacy. Ideally hope so that it will flip. In Cisco Live Las Vegas, we ended at 51% IPv6 traffic. So we went over that and more will happen. Sure, Nicole. I mean, really? I mean, I need IPv6 because I've got NAT. Well, network address translation is a pain in a very dark area. Who agrees with me? Exact. Do we have security people in the room? It's not no, one. I see one quickly, and it went down. Do not block ICMP-v6, sir. Because that's why I'm saying this. Security people in the room, they automatically block ICMP, or actually ICMP. And looking at the hairs, yes. I'm sharing the same, by the way, the age, so don't worry. I've been there. Ping of death, Smurf attacks. That was the reason why IT people would block ICMP. However, when going with net, I mean, it's like running an old bike, right? And then I would prefer to have the car underneath. Um, I'm a Formula One fan, so technically by law I'm a McLaren fan. But like I said, Red Bull, Max Verstappen is of course my first go-to person. Some people don't like the guy, but I always say, listen, off track he's a very nice guy. Yes, on track he will even steal from his grandmother. That's what world champions just do. I mean, they are one target. But keep in mind, so IPv6, I mean, you don't need NAT. You could use NAT 6.6. People are very active in using NAT 6.6. However, NAT 6.6 is not a standard. So that's one of the things. And it doesn't give you extra security. I mean, you just need to think a little bit further than what you did for the legacy protocol, because your 1918 address space 10.xxx, you sort of knew, okay, that's not going to be routed. But even with IPv6, some things will not be routed further on the internet as well, because that's where IANA made rules basically about that. So you know what? Should I really deploy now, right, in my enterprise? Because that's the question. And I did the adoption from Australia. So right now, so from sixlab.cisco.com, we have these nice graphics. We do a mix of details, and Australia is at, well, let's say roughly 55% in total what the number is. So we have something that's called prefixes, transit AS, content, and users. And let me point out two specific ones. And prefixes is only at 20%. And what does that number mean? Is that Epnic gave prefixes to the customers in Australia, and only 20% have been announced towards the internet. So I could somehow also say that, okay, customers here in Australia are busy to, deploy or enroll or transition to IPv6. Because here's the other thing. So besides legacy protocol, we do not migrate to IPv6, we transition to IPv6. Birds migrate. I do not want you to go back to the legacy protocol because birds come in and out on summer and winter. And so I do not want you to go back to the legacy protocol. One of the other ones, users. So that's your home users. Although I do know that definitely service providers here in Australia, at home even, they are supplying IPv6. So I'm very grateful. Yesterday I even heard that Aussie Band even gives a /48 to customers. I was like, oh, thank you so much. Because that's awesome. Because you will never run out of IP addresses. So, and I'll come back to that, never running out of IP addresses. So, like I said, enterprises. Why are enterprises going slow? So in those stats of Google, it goes up and down, up and down. And I specifically have here an example for December 23rd as an example that most users at home have IPv6. On the moment when they go to work, then the number drops. So that's why, as a nice example, you can see that enterprises are still a little bit legacy-wise. Yet, if you want to innovate and give anybody an IP address, I mean, IPv6 is so much easier. You don't need to think about ARP, no broadcast. Oh, how many hosts do I have on my LAN? And oh no, I need to subnet this and pre-subnet and IPv6, right? Straight, you give them a /64 and you have an 18.4 quintillion addresses. What's not to like about that? So, mandates. So, of course, there's a lot of mandates in specifically US. There's an OMB mandate, but that's far away from here. In the Netherlands, we have one. Germany, very active. Germany are very gründlich und pünktlich. So they take it very serious. So as of next year, you would even see their adoption rate even go quicker. And they are already at 76. So they are the top in Europe as we speak. And then, of course, we have something secret happening at the background, happening in China. So now let me go give you a little bit of technical detail, about this 128-bit addressing. Because, okay, what's it about? Because it's a bit different than the legacy protocol. So, of course, we have our multicast addresses like we know them in the legacy world. However, there's something specifically in IPv6 that's called solicited node multicast. And this is how communication happens between endpoints and hosts. And this is where your ARP and your broadcast equivalents live. And then we have a little bit of different, and I'll be honest, even my colleagues, that well, not freaks them out, but they go like, huh, how does this work? We have some address types, which we have here. So we have a link local address, a global address, and in gray, I did it on specific, a unique local address. So link local address. Every device that has an IPv6 stack enabled will have a link local address. It will start with Fox Echo 80. So if you look in your phone right now, that's always what you have. Your default gateway will always be your link local address. That's fine. So then the next address, if you really have routable addresses, you will have a global address. Global address will start something in the range of 2001. It will be very, in 2001 onwards. I think here, if I remember quickly, when I saw my interface coming up, I think it's 2009. Depends on, of course, what the region or what your server provider gives you. I think it's going. Thank you. Please check. And so that will be your routable address. So you go to the internet. And then we have something called unique local addressing. So in the past, immediately people would say, it's your 1918 equivalent. And then everybody goes like, oh yes, we need to do this. We need to deploy this in your 1918 address space. But I put it in gray because there's an RFC called 6724. And like I said, IPv6 takes precedence over the legacy protocol. However, unique local addressing does not, because the priority is lower than the legacy protocol. So if you are deploying a dual stack environment and you have ULA, sorry to say, but you do not know whether your IPv6 is working or not, because the legacy protocol will go first. It takes a couple of years to change the RFC. The ITF, by the way, is busy doing this, but before ULA probably gets more preference, unique local addressing, please use it only in an IPv6 only environment, because then you'll be fine. So it's corner cases. So that's, I am not a fan of ULA. Global addressing, you can arrange, in order to what you route to the internet and what not. It just requires a little bit more thinking, but you'll be fine. Nicole, I cannot remember this address. It's too big for me. And then I said, well, but remember you started IT years ago? I mean, who knew, the legacy addresses? Can you just remember initially the first time you go like, I cannot remember this legacy address? Even right now. So I do know, funny enough, so just now before this session, somebody said, what's your IPv6 address at home? And I'll be honest that I couldn't answer. However, I did say, I do know Cisco's one. So because it's 2001:420, and specifically the 420, I never ever forget. So this is and it's, by the way, true. It's 2001:420. I'm not sure how they managed this. So this is your 128-bit address. And as you noticed, there's an interface ID and a, let's say, subnet prefix. And what you can do with that long address, all the leading zeros, you can take away. So now this address actually becomes a little bit more bearable, right? So this makes it quite nice to remember. And even the best part is that after all the following zeros, you can actually squeeze them together and do only one time a double colon. One time. Very important, because otherwise the machine says no. So it goes like, I don't understand. So design practice, please use it in the interface area, because if you're using it in your network part and you have a double colon there and you have different prefixes, also known as subnets, but different prefixes, you go like, because if there's too many zeros in between. Just a nice gotcha that say, remember Nicole said. So the practical view is that this is your control area. So you get a prefix either from your service provider, or you have a private provider independent address. And in this case, at my home, I have a /48. And this allows you to have 65,536 subnets available. So I think at home, I'll be fine. Customers are, well, mainly in general, could also be fine with that amount of subnets. Here's the better part. If you have need more subnets available, just ask, Ethnic to a bigger prefix. I know that RIPE in Europe, they give nowadays out /29s. You just need to do some paperwork. They give it, it's almost like the Oprah Winfrey. Here another address, here another address. Same with Ethnic. Do not be scared, because you will never run out. The reason for this last the last 64 bits is also because relation to stateless address auto configuration. So if you have Android devices in your network, because they do not do DHCP-v6, you need to give them a type of address, and that's only going through for stateless address auto configuration. It's a fact. Nicole cannot change it. If you want to change it, talk to Google, please. So here's another thing. So now, how big is this space? So this is my husband. Yes, he's 2 meters. He's very tall. This is not my kid, but the parents still, after 13 years, give permission for me to use this picture. This is how big IPv6 space is. It's immense. And I just want to let you show you why it's so big. Because by the end of the day, when you do address planning, for sure you will use the legacy mindset. Like, oh, I need to be careful. I need to make sure that I don't run out. Well, here's the cool thing. Let me do a little bit of mathematical, fun. So we are going to, in a data center, let's say Netflix. We're going to watch a TV show. So you guys here are running your separate Netflix show, and everybody gets their own IP address. For the fun of it, every second, 10 million addresses. So I'm not giving you one address, 10 million addresses. 10 million addresses. This is the second. 10 million addresses. 10 million addresses. So 10 million addresses per second. I mean, in the legacy world, you go like, hold on, I'm not going to give you 10 million addresses. Are you insane? Right? But you know what? We are going to exhaust a /64. So just one /64. So, like I said, a /64 has 18.4 because there's too much behind it. So 18.4 quintillion addresses. And, we are going to try, to see how long it will take, how many years we are running out of that 18.4 quintillion addresses. So we have 10 million addresses per second. We have this amount, 31,536,000 seconds in a year. This is the amount addresses per year. I'll just do quickly math. So that means that we divide 18.4 with the big number there. So just a raise of hands. Who thinks that's less than 10,000 years? There's, by the way, no wrong answer. So who thinks it's less than 20,000 years? Who thinks it's less than 30,000 years? Who thinks it's more than 30,000 years? Because that's or some people have seen my presentation already. But no, it's fine. But yes, because it's 58,494 years for a /64 to exhaust. Okay, with all respect, I didn't count the leap years because the leap years, it sort of takes 200 years less, by the way, just FYI, but I'm just a little bit lazy. So I like to have the quickest, dirtiest one. But you know what? I don't have a /64. Remember, I at home have a /48. So we need to scale. Well, guys, can you just imagine what? So /64, /48, so 65,536 times, the 50, times the, hold on, times the 58,494 years. Well, guess what? 3.8 billion years for a full /48 will exhaust. So I can safely say we will not run out of IP addresses. Be generous. You'll be fine. If you do run out, fortunately this is not recorded, but if you go to my breakout, it's recorded, so then you have proof. If you do run out, you get a lifetime Stroopwafel supply by Nicole while I am alive. That's most important as well. So, well, like I said, nobody's using IPv6. Well, guess what? So we had in Amsterdam last year, 47%. And then, I was so happy because in Vegas we had 51%. That's like, yay. I'll tell you a little bit of secret. Why didn't I use 2024 yet? The NOC team had to bounce some network devices, and then the data got, excuse my language, screwed up. So the numbers were a little bit lower. So that's why I'm using these nice numbers. But at this moment at Cisco Live Melbourne, we are already 50%. So, and this is only, let's say, the Tuesday, and we're not even on Thursday. What happens is that normally during the conference, it actually goes up. So this is a win-win situation. So This one was always since 2012 when I started presenting. But Nicole, what's the business case? Uh, So I would say, what's the business case for the legacy protocol? It's sort of the same. You want connectivity, you want to scale, you want to give everybody IP. However, there is actually a business case nowadays. Because did you know that of February this year, AWS is charging you for legacy IP per year? So I converted it to 67 Australian dollars per year per IP. So if you are a very heavy AWS user, you're gonna spend a lot of money there or use IPv6. So this is my nice business case. And I mean, there's some broccoli there. Definitely works. So you know what? That with that was like, okay, Nicole, I would really like, to deploy IPv6 now. Well, the cool part is that we are going to a quiz as we speak. So that's the best part because I mean it's only 30 minutes, and so that's why I need to speak. And I still owe you the broccoli. So there will be prizes. So that's the cool thing. So please join. So use the QR code, and if you're already connected, then it's already there, and then you click join the quiz. I think I put the right QR code in here. That's always the so that's the best one. So you can use any fun name to join the quiz. And so while you guys are connecting, so we have, by the way, Fred as well. So and Fred is hiding under your seat, or of course if you're standing, there's no Fred hiding under your seat. So have a look under your seat, and if you have Fred, then later on after this session you can I was about to say, oh yeah, Philip, his name is Philip. I was going to say meet Fred, because there's an extra prize. This is not the Nicole prize, but so see him after there, so that, but don't leave yet because there's more prizes to be won. Is there anybody still? I think I saw a person just there scanning the QR code, and otherwise we go now to my hold on, I need to where are you? There. Cool. uh, this is what I always, let me go out of my presentation mode, and that's why I did on purpose. Perfect. So anybody still in the connecting phase? Otherwise, then we go give a start. Let me tell you, because otherwise I forget, you have 6 seconds to respond. So no pressure. And so we will have a couple of questions coming up. So first question is coming up right now. So currently, the global IPv6 adoption, according to Google, is, so there was a screenshot, but I didn't tell you, right? So it's 5%, 25%, 46%, 75, or 95%. So that's the best part, that people read the slide and didn't. So yes, definitely 46%. So that's as of today. And so it is increasing. There was a one day it went over 50%. So, but it's going up and down, and it all depends on you people here in the room deploying IPv6 soon, and then we have more traffic. So first time leaderboard. So Tani, no pressure, but just so you know. And we go to the next question. So as of today, how much does AWS charge per year for one legacy IP address? So less than 5 Australian cents, 50 euros. Not a problem. My boss is paying $67, or I just bought a /24 legacy IP address. And of course, right, well done. People paying attention. So indeed, 67 Australian dollars. Next question. So Nicole said IPv6 is like the legacy protocol, a stroopwafel, broccoli, sliced bread. Ooh, well done, 90%. People are keep most important. So I think if I'm correct, we have, I think the next question. Oh, no. Oh, well done, Tanny. No pressure yet still. I like to pull it up, but next question. So how many years does it take to exhaust a slash 64 at the rate of 10 million a second? 3,500, 493 years, 495. I did this on purpose, by the way, right? 495 or 3.8 billion years. This is, like I said, I do this on purpose. The first time I did this in Amsterdam, I could see this person go like, no. And he's like, he's like, so and he's like, oh, that last one. So yes, 494 years. So 35%. Well done. So we go to the next question. So what's Nicole's job title in Cisco? Nerd, systems engineer, technical solution engineer, chief Stroopwafel officer, or IPv6 specialist? Perfect, perfect. People do keep it. With all respect, the contract, by the way, is indeed technical solution engineer. But unfortunately, I mean, chief Stroopwafel officer is in the directory. So I think, let me see. Oh, yeah. And so I do apologize on the last question, but I did this on purpose. So just to tease you. So how many stroopwafels did Nicole bring into Australia for Cisco Live Melbourne? 99, 135, 105, 512, not enough. Oh, and I did not declare them. This works. I mean, I do watch Border Patrol always. My husband hates it every time. And then when he comes to the TV, I always had to stop the and he's like, yes, because he's going like, this is not fair. And I just love it. It's brilliant. So yes, I did this on purpose because, of course, and indeed, not enough is the answer. But I did count them because I stopped by Japan, and so I gave out stroopwafels there. But indeed, 105 is the correct answer. So, so Sela, Ken, actually, Sela, Ken, James, Sam, and Lester, remember your name there because I'm going back to the presentation. Come see me after the presentation because you will get a stroopwafel. So, um, because I mean, this is the only 30 minutes where I was presenting. However, there's another session. Let's deploy IPv6 now. And you get more nerdy, nitty gritty details all about basics. I also have some troubleshooting in there, so a little bit as well. 415, room 204, by all means. So do and come and join me. I still have room available. Another quiz there, another questions there. So they're not the same. However, remember, I said to you 30 minutes ago, the one thing you need to remember, IPv6 is broccoli. Well, here's the reason why. IPv6 is internet broccoli. It's good for us in the long run, but you do not get an immediate sugar rush by deploying it now. So if you are keen to learn more and even learn from your peers and community, I have a WebEx room available. It's an external room where customers around the world are present. You are able to join and leave when you can as well. Now, it's not Hotel California. Any question you can do. There are seriously no stupid questions. So that I can tell you that it's a safe environment. And I'm posting there now also on a daily basis the traffic statistics for Cisco Live Melbourne. Invite your peers, invite your friends, because together, you know, you learn the best and where you come across. So we have something with CTF. It's from my colleague Anand. You can also learn a lot about networking, SDA, DNS Center, security. So by all means, do get there. And with that, I would say thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your Cisco Live.